Today is a very nice date, 11th of November 2025. This week is week 6. Week 6 and week 7 is our presentation. If we can complete all our presentations today, we'll try to stop at 12 o'clock. But unless you don't mind continuing, because we have 2 weeks for presentation. For LCC402, the first assessment 1 and 2, your outline you can, I will create now. You can submit your outline on YouFuture. Okay, so in the meantime, I will let you know when the link is available. I shall now pass this session to our moderator for today. Okay, the moderator, you can take over.
All right, thank you, Date. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi syrah lana sudurana wa yassir lana umurana wa hlul 'uqdatam min alsinatina yafqahu aqwalana. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everyone. First and foremost, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our beloved lecturer, Dr. Wan Zomusni, for giving us the opportunity to conduct this presentation session today. To our presenter, please be prepared as we will begin shortly. So, without further delay, let us begin our session with our first presenter, who will be the presenting on his topic. Please, I welcome Akid, Hafiz, and Aiman Afiq.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all. My name is Aki Hafiz and my partner Aiman. Today we are analyzing a crucial aspect of our economy, tourist arrival and spending in Malaysia. We begin with background. Following the unprecedented disruption caused by COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism trend hit a drastic low in 2020 and 2021. However, we are now tracking the industry as it enters a vital phase of post-pandemic recovery. And our focus today is to assess this recovery using two core metrics: the sheer volume of international tourist arrival, which you will see in our bar chart. And then second is the changing expenditure pattern of this visitor, shown in our pie chart. Our goal is to understand how is the sector is bouncing back, and how this translate into revenue for the Malaysian national income. So let's start with the central idea.
Central idea. Muka tak keluar.
Alright, can you hear me?
Nampak muka Aiman.
Okay.
Nampak?
Right. Now let's start with the central idea. For our central idea, we are focusing on the number of tourists that will come to Malaysia and analyze how their number effect on our economy. Just like Akid present just now, that the tourist sector is one of Malaysia biggest economic revenue, and without the arrival of these tourists, we may never have this much income for our nation. Next, the second chart, we will analysis the tourist spending pattern so that we know how, which one of the pattern that we can focus to, so we can maximize their spending to increase our revenue. Sekejap. Moving on to the first.
Dia lambat sikit. Satu. Okay.
Alright, sorry. Moving on to our first graph is the bar chart. This bar chart shows the number of tourist arrival in Malaysia. As we can see, there is a steady arrival of tourists from the year 2014 until 2019, with the peak and the highest number of tourism that have come to Malaysia in 2014. But in 2020, the number dropped significantly by 84%, which is caused by the pandemic COVID-19 that we already know that restrict many traveling from across the country. Not only that, starting on 2022, not only that, on 2021, the Malaysia hit with the biggest drop in the tourist arrival due to the sanction and drop and restriction of moving in COVID-19 era. However, starting 2022, Malaysia has slowly recovered from the pandemic and slowly but surely uh, coming back to the maintained era of the tourist arrival. How they recover from the pandemic is due to the many factors, such as the shifting focus from foreign tourist arrival into the domestic tourists, which means the government more likely to focus on local travelling rather than on foreign tourists. Next, moving on to the next slide.
Alright. Moving on from the chain onwards, let's examine the quality of recovery with chart 2. Our pie chart on foreign tourist spending patterns. This chart provides a precise breakdown of visitor expenditure across key areas like accommodation, foods and beverage, and also shopping. The most critical insight here, the most critical insight here is that the largest portion of tourists funds largest the most valuable part of the pie goes toward country specific goods. For example, to clarify, country specific good is essentially dominated by shopping a unique local services. This means tourists are buying things like batik fabric, Royal Selangor, puter product or local handicraft or unique food souvenir. This high level of spending on local good is a vital. It's mean the recovery in tourist arrival we saw in chart 1 is successfully translating into a significant boost in national revenue. Therefore, our primary challenge moving forward is not just attracting more visitors, but shifting our strategy to maximize this per tourist expenditure to ensure the strongest, the more lasting economic contribution from the tourist sector. To conclude,
conclude our presentation.
Aiman, you are muted.
Afi, you are mute.
Sorry. Right.
Tak dengar. Duduk sebelah.
In conclusion, the Malaysia tourism sector may have experienced a drastic decline during the pandemic. But due to the government and the local effort, it not only survived the pandemic, but also slowly recovering into its peak numbers of tourism arrival. These numbers is really important because it it is one of the main revenue for the national economy. That's all from me.
Alright, thank you Akid and also Afiq for the informative and well-delivered presentation. For now, I open the floor to anyone to ask their question. I have a Hi, my name is Fikri. I have a question. What is the Malaysia strategies for tourism sector moving forward? That's all.
Malaysia strategy moving forward.
Yeah.
Alright. So for Malaysia to recover from the pandemic, the Malaysia government has created some of the new tourism sections, such as the eco-tourism to attract more sustainable travelling, and medical tourism to attract more people to come to Malaysia for medical, and not only that, spending their money on our country. That's it.
Alright, Iman. Thank you for the answer. Now, anyone who want to ask? Alright, if there are no question, let us move on to our second presenter, who will be presenting about divorce rate in Malaysia. Please welcome Siti Nur Aisyah and Alia Hanis. You may start now, Aisyah, if you are ready.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to our lecturer Dr. Wan Zumusni and our beloved classmate. Today, we are the second pair for this discussion. We would like to present to everyone the analysis on the divorce rate in Malaysia. Before that, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Nur Hanis binti Muhammad Mahazir, and then my partner, Aisyah.
My name is Siti Nur Aisyah binti Azlam.
Okay. We go straight into our introduction for this analysis, which is the background of the topic and the central idea of this analysis. The divorce rate, the introduction, the reason why we choose this topic is because there are many cases related with the divorce cases in among the celebrities in Malaysia that attract people's attention. That's the main reason why we choose this topic to analyze and show to others the rate in Malaysia, the divorce rate in Malaysia. Although the marriage rate in Malaysia in 2021 showed a significant increase of 50.4%, the divorce rate in Malaysia from 2020 to 2021 also showed an increasing. And in 2023, the chairman for the national population in Malaysia, she stated that the main causes of the divorce happened in Malaysia was lack of understanding, cheating, failure to provide and fulfill responsibilities, and interference from both sides of the family. And here are the purpose of what we are actually trying to present to everyone, which is we're going to present the divorce trend in Malaysia from 2019 until 2003 and also to analyze the divorce cases by state for 2022. So for the divorce trend in Malaysia, we can see in 2019, before the COVID-19 pandemic, the number of divorce cases was 56 and 624,000 cases recorded. And we can see there's a decline from 2019 to 2020, which is 19.2% decline in 2000 from 2019 to 2020, with the total number of cases recorded in 2020 was 47,274,000 cases. And then it show another decreasing rate, which is in 2021, it cover only 43,936,000 cases recorded. During the pandemic, the divorce cases decreasing for 2 years in a row. And then if you can see, after the post-pandemic period, from 2021 until 2022, it show a significant increasing for a recorded cases, which is it amounted to 43.1% increasing. It shows a very significant increasing. It shows a very high divorce cases recorded in Malaysia. And although in 2023, it showed an decreasing for although in 2022, from 2022 to 2023, there is a decreasing rate and cases recorded, which is 2023 only recorded 57 and 835,000 cases recorded. The 2023 cases that recorded are still surpass the amount of divorce rate in 2019, which is the pre-pandemic period. That's all from me. Then I will pass to my next part.
Now, now I'll be talking about one of the rising social issues in Malaysia, which is the trend of divorce among states. According to the data from the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the number of divorces has been increasing steadily in recent years, with clear differences between states. As you can see in the bar graph, in 2022, Selangor recorded as the highest number of divorce cases with 9,533, while Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan had the lowest with only 169 cases. We are all aware that Selangor is Malaysia's most developed and urbanized state. It is the country's economic heart. It is filled with opportunities, jobs, industries, and people chasing the success. But behind this modern lifestyle, it lies heavy pressure from the high cost of living, and it is the financial stress. Is one of the main reasons for the high divorce rate in Selangor. When expenses like rent, food, car, and childcare it keep rising, the many couples struggles to maintain this stability. It is not about lack of love, but when the financial pressure builds up, small issue can easily grow into big conflict. And another reason is urban pressure and migration. We know that many people move to Selangor for work and end up living far from their families. Without emotional or family support, long working hours and limited time together can weaken their relationship. Many couples also file for divorce in Selangor because they currently live there, even if they are married in another state, which increase states of overall figures. For example, this couple, they migrated from Terengganu, they get married there, but because they work in Selangor, they file their divorce there. In addition to support this, Selangor Sharia courts also have introduced a fast-track divorce system. It makes the process faster and more accessible compared to another state. So this means that part of the high number is due to the efficiency of the system, not just the increase in broken relationship. And let's take a look at Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan. It has been recorded as the lowest number of divorce cases. We know that Labuan is a small island and it is known for its calm and peaceful way of life. Compared to Selangor, it is less urbanized and it has a smaller population. So the slower pace of life and lower living costs give families more time to connect and support each other. And because of the small population, the community and family, the bonds, it remains strong because they live quite close. And people often rely on advice from relative or neighbor to solve their problem before they to divorce. Since there is less migration, the relationship in Labuan tend to be more stable. Conclusion. Okay. So, in conclusion, from vows to values, the Malaysian stories is changing. As you can see, this analysis, the data from 2019 to 2023, it shows that the divorce rate has been rising along with the pace of the modern life. Selangor also stands out due to urban pressure, financial challenge, and changing priorities, while Labuan, it reflects the strength of traditional bonds. These numbers are more than statistics. It reflects a real struggles, shifting perspective, and the way Malaysians are redefining the love and stability in today's world. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha and Alia. Any question for them? Any questions? All right, if there are no question, I will be asked the question. So, both of you, Aisha and Alia, in your opinion, what are the main factors lead to the divorce rate in Malaysia?
Okay. In my opinion, as I do the research regarding this issue, I found that one of the main factors that lead to a divorce can be a lack of communication and also the financial pressure. When the couples they are struggling with the financial pressure and they do not communicate with each other, and these contribute to a lack of understanding between each other, and the situation has led to divorce.
Okay, thank you Aisha for the answer. Alright, let's move to the other presenter. Which is the next partner is Muhammad Al Hafiz, myself, and Fikri Aiman for the topic of mental health issue among Malaysian student. Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and very good morning to everyone. First of all, thank you to our beautiful lecturer for attending to our presentation session today. And without delay anymore, I would like to introduce our issue, which is the mental health issue among students in Malaysia. Before that, let me introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Al Hafiz bin Muhammad Nafizan.
And my name is Fikri Aiman Bahir Azman.
Alright, next slide. So, for the introduction, we begin with the definition of mental health. According to World Health Organization (WHO), mental health is a state of well-being that help people handle stress, use their abilities, work effectively, and contribute to their community. In Islam perspective, based on the Maqasid Sharia, mental health fall under the category of basic necessities, which is daruriyat, specifically in hifz al-akili, the preservation of intellect, which is must be protected and maintained properly. So, why we choose the mental health issue for our topic is based on the research and finding by conduct by the NHMS, which is the National Health and Mobility Survey. They found that one out of a, one out of 10 student in Malaysia has the mental illness. And what we want to deliver the idea today is the central idea, the prevalence of mental health problem among Malaysian students. Second is main causes of mental health. And third is ways to overcome the issue. Next slide. All right. The information is in this slide is the stack bar chart produced by the Kong and the members, which is the research and finding among the NUMED Malaysia student. NUMED Malaysia student is a Newcastle Medicine Malaysia student. So stack bar chart produced show how each category, which is none, low, mild, moderate, and moderately severe and severe height, in contribute the percentage to the total number of response for each psychological measure, including anxiety, depression, somatic system, and stress among the new med student. So to analyze this stack bar chart, we have to understand the number in the chart show the percentage of the respondent who experience the issue of anxiety. One of the number of respondent is the anxiety bar, which is the 27% experience mild anxiety, 15.4% experience the moderate anxiety, and 14.7% experience severe or high anxiety. Only 42.8% of respondents experience none or low level of anxiety. As for depression, the data show that the 27% of respondents experience the mild depression, 16.1% moderate depression, 6.3% experience the moderately severe depression, and 9.1% experience the high depression. Only 42.4% of the respondents experience the none or low level of depression. For somatic symptom, pardon me, 31.9% experience mild level, 14.7% experience moderate level, and only 7.7% experience the high level. Meanwhile, 45.6% of respondents only experience or not experience the somatic system. Regarding to the stress, more than half of the respondent actually experience the moderate stress level, and 17.2% will experience the high level of stress. Only 20.4% of the respondent did not experience any stress. This data actually shows that the psychological problem that is often faced by the student in Malaysia, especially in the NUMED college, is stress, which only 20.4% of them did not experience it. Next slide. So actually, how to identify the mental illness among the student? If we consult with the counselor, they may be ask us to make a test, which is the test is DAS 42. So the DAS 42 is a 42 item self-report scale designed to measure the negative emotional state of depression, anxiety, and stress. So look at the symptom, which is depression, low self-esteem, disappointed, gloomy, sad, feeling life has no meaning or value. For anxiety, like panic, shivering, unsteadiness, dry mouth, shortness, breath, and etc. For stress, for example, like unable to relax, easily irritate, easily disturbed, quick to anger, and many more. You can identify this symptom uh, when you consult with your counselor. So I'll pass next presenting to our to my partner Fikri Aiman.
Okay. So next we move on to on how healthy youth mind in Malaysia. A study by Youth Research Malaysia and United Nations Children Funds shows that youth in Malaysia are at moderate risk of facing emotional disturbance or disruptive feeling. Based on the radar chart, for anxiety, they have 52.71% of youth experience mild anxiety and 30.99% of youth experience minimal anxiety. So for depression, they have 45.3% of youth experience mild depression and 14.37% of youth experience minimal to no depression. So this percentage makes the score in the healthy mind domain as 66.10, which is classified as moderately satisfactory. So to increase the number of youth with a healthy mind, all parties must work together to overcome the issue regarding of mental health. So how to overcome the mental health issue? First, from individual. The recovery must start from oneself, such as practicing a healthy lifestyle and expressing feelings and to trusted people. This can help in ability to control emotion. Second, from families and communities. The family side where parents should listen and understand without judging and pressuring, and if necessary, help them to get professional assistance such as counselor and psychiatrist. While from the community, they can create community support centers, especially for teenagers. This is to create a strong social support so that students feel valued. Next, for government and health agencies, they can do things such as holding a national awareness campaign to eliminate the stigma against mental health, while at the same time providing a 24 hours mental health line, such as Heal Line at 1555. This is to create a long-term support system for the mental well-being of the younger generation. Next slide. Okay. So in conclusion, it is really important for all of us to solve the issue. Let's break the stigma and talk openly about mental health. Always check in your friends and family. By asking them a simple "how are you" question can mean so much. So together, we can create a kinder and more supportive world. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you everyone for listening. Any question for us?
I have a question. Um, I want to know what is a somatic symptom?
Question. Good question, Fakrul. Uh, the question is what is the somatic symptom? Actually, somatic symptom is a physical symptom caused or worse by the mental or emotional issue. So, for example, like the chest pain, fatigue, nauseous, dizziness, and the sleep problems. So that's all. I hope that's answering your question, Fakrul. All right. Let's move to the next presenter. Right. Let me check first. Najwa Farhana and also Wan Putria on their topic social media usage among Malaysian youth. So I'll pass to them.
Okay, so good morning everyone. So we are here today to discuss about an increasingly relevant topic, which is social media usage among Malaysian youth. So before that, let me introduce myself and my partner first. My name is Wan Putriah Nur binti Hairir.
And I am Najwa Farhana Muhammad Rusdi.
Alright, so next slide. Next. Okay, so first of all, to answer this question, we have analyzed the data from the Meltwater and also We Are Social using two main visual aids. So basically, the types of charts that we have used, the first one is the pie chart, which is to show the most used social media platform to help us understand the digital behavior. And the next one is a horizontal bar chart, which is to compare the average time spent using these apps, which is in hours and also minutes per month. So there are two purposes of this data analysis, which is to understand the pattern of digital behavior among youth in Malaysia, and to compare the average time that Malaysian users spend on different social media platforms. So this average time is used in hours and also minutes per month. Next. So first, let's start with the background first. I will start with the clear definition. Basically, social media use is defined as using online platforms or applications to create, exchange, or consume materials while interacting with others. So for Malaysian youth, the effects are very clear and also positive. There are two effects that have stated as shown in the slides. So basically, social media improves communication and also social connections, and it provides essential access to information and also education, especially for youth in Malaysia. Next. So I will pass to the next presenter for the central idea first.
Okay, next is the central idea. For this research presentation, our central focus is to understand how Malaysian youth are using social media today. And specifically, this study aims to identify which social media platforms are the most popular among youth and which platforms consume the highest amount of users' time. And by analyzing these two elements, we are able to examine the behavioral patterns behind their usage. This helps us to see not only what platforms they choose, but also how these platforms actually influence their daily time engagement. And then from our findings, there is a clear shift happening. Youth are no longer using social media only for the communication purpose, but they are increasingly drawn towards entertainment-driven platform. This shows social media now plays a dual role, which are it connects people, and also at the same time it acts as a primary source of entertainment. And overall, the central idea forms is the base of our research direction and supports the comparison of both charts used in this presentation.
Okay, so let's continue with the first chart. So from our finding for the first charts, there is a clear shift happening. Um, Okay, sorry. So let's begin with the first chart that shows the most used social media platforms in Malaysia. So this pie chart shows the percentage of Malaysian internet users. Basically, we took the information from users from age 16 until 64 who use each platform monthly based on January 2024 data. So basically, this data is very recent and also legit. The data basically highlights which platforms are essential for basic digital presence in Malaysia. As you guys can see, basically this pie chart has several social media platforms. As we have stated, we have a few such as Messenger, Telegram, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and X, or used to known as Twitter. But what I would like to highlight here is only the top social media that Malaysian use prefer to use. So as we can see that the absolute most used social media platform is WhatsApp, accounting for an 18.9% of the usage share. Following closely in popularity are Facebook and Instagram at 60%. Finally, the video platform TikTok is also highly popular, used by 14.3% of internet population. What this first chart tells us that communication tools like WhatsApp and also Facebook still form the bedrock of social media activity in our country. Even though other applications like X or Instagram or TikTok are very well known for their entertainment that attracts many attention from many users, communication tools are still on top of the chart instead of the entertainment itself. So that's all from me. Now let's look at the second chart to see how this popularity translates into actual time spent. So I pass this presentation to my partner.
Okay, next is the horizontal bar chart. So this bar chart is the analysis of time spent using social media platform, media apps. Okay, so based on this bar chart, TikTok records the most high time spent among Malaysian users with an average of 38 hours and 49 minutes per month. And this is followed by YouTube with 35 hours and 34 minutes. Both platforms clearly lead in terms of entertainment-based content consumption. Okay, next is the Facebook, which shows 17 hours and 20 minutes, while WhatsApp record 60 hours and 4 minutes, showing that communication platforms are still used frequently but not as long in duration as entertainment platform, which are TikTok and YouTube. And then Instagram comes next with 8 hours and 46 minutes, 46 minutes indicating moderate usage. For the remaining platform like X, Telegram, Pinterest, Line, Snapchat, and Messenger, this platform show a much lower time spent, which each below 4 hours per month on average. And overall, this comparison shows that youth spend significantly more time on platforms that offer the video-based entertainment compared to the communication platforms. And this indicates a clear behavioral shift toward entertainment consumption rather than purely messaging or networking. Okay, so in conclusion, the analysis shows that Malaysian youth rely on social media for two main functions, which are communication and also entertainment, while WhatsApp and Facebook are widely used for staying connected with others. Platforms such as TikTok and YouTube demonstrate significantly higher time engagement due to the video-based content consumption. This pattern indicates a behavioral shift where youth invest more time on entertainment-driven platforms rather than communication-focused platform. Understanding this distinction is important for the educators, policymakers, and marketers as it enables the development of more effective communication strategies and targeted outreach programs that aim at youth audience in Malaysia. Okay, that's all from us.
Thank you, Najwa and Wan Putria. Any question for them?
I have a question. My name is Edlin Nabila Shazrina. So my question is, why do you think WhatsApp remains the most used social media platform in Malaysia, even though platforms like TikTok and YouTube are more popular for entertainment?
Alright, thank you for the question. So basically, it's because WhatsApp is a primarily daily communication tool. So Malaysian use it for messaging with family, friends, for their studies and also work, which makes it necessary and consistently used every day. So even though entertainment platforms are trending, communication is still the main daily need. So WhatsApp stays the most popular platform overall. That's all.
Correct. I hope that answering your question, Adeline. So let's move to the next presenter, pair number 5, which is Dewi Natasha and also Nurul Fateh Natasha on their topics, which is HIV transmission by gender and age in Malaysian.
Kenapa kamera kau besar sangat weh? Tak boleh. Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good morning to my fellow classmate and my beloved lecturer, which is Dr. Wan Zumisni binti Wan Mustafa. My name is Dewi Natasha binti Rosmain and my partner is
Nurul Fateh Natasha binti Abu Talib.
We are the pair 5. Today we are presenting our topic, which is HIV transmission by gender and age in Malaysia.
First and foremost, HIV was first detected in Malaysia in First and foremost, HIV was first detected in Malaysia in 1989. Since then, the government has been working towards the National Goal 2030, which aims to end AIDS as a public health issue. In the earliest, most HIV cases were related to injecting drug users, IDU, but over time, the trend has changed into sexual transmissions. I pass the next slide for the Natasha.
Okay, let's move to the background of topic. Firstly, what is HIV? HIV is a virus that weakens the immune system and if left untreated can lead to the AIDS. In Malaysia, the virus are mainly spread through sexual contact. This issue give effect to the economic, social, and mental health. For the social, people living with HIV often face a stigma and isolation. For economy, it leads to the high treatment costs and loss of productivity. And lastly, for the mentally, many individuals experience stress, anxiety and depression as a result for getting HIV positive. And let's move our central idea. Our study examined HIV transmission pattern in Malaysia using official data from the Ministry of Health and the Malaysian AIDS Council between 2010 and 2023. This analysis shows demographic shift in cases and patterns in Malaysia use cases, and this information is very important to help design targeted prevention strategies. Supporting Malaysia is by supporting Malaysia targeting goals of ending AIDS by 2033. Okay. Our first chart, which is a line chart, show that the HIV transmission by gender in Malaysia in 2010 and 2003. This chart show the trend of HIV cases among males and females in Malaysia from 2010 and 2003. Based on the data, Malaysian AIDS Council by the Malaysian AIDS Council, in 2010, around 95% of cases were male and only 5% were female. By 2003, male cases dropped to the 90%, while female cases rise to the 10%. Although men still make up to the majority, the gap between genders are narrowing. This show the shift in HIV transmissions from mainly injecting drug use in the past to the sexual transmission in the recent years, affecting both men and women. This increase in female cases indicate that more women are at the risk through the heterosexual contact from the infected partners. And it also affects social issues such as a lack of awareness and stigma that prevent women from seeking help. I will give you one example. In Malaysia, in yearly 2035, a housewife was infected by her husband, which is a fisherman that getting contacted by an affair. So she got affected by her unknowingly. Without her consent. So she also highlighted that nobody wants HIV because some engage in risky behavior, but many just a victim of the situations, like the wife and even the children that didn't ask for it. And her story reminds us that HIV can affect anyone, and it's just not about behavior, but about compassion, awareness, and support for the people. We need to give a support for them because HIV is not something that we need to not everyone cannot get it because many of them just a victim from the people that have not aware about it. Okay, that's all from me.
Now, this is the pie chart for the distribution of HIV cases by age group in 2023. The chart shows that the 20 until 29 years old for the highest proportion of new HIV cases at 44%. This means almost half of all new infection occurred among young adults. The second most affected group is 30 to 39 years old at 31, followed by 40 to 49 years old at 13%. Meanwhile, teenagers aged 13 until 19 years old make up only around 4%, which is minimal cases, and older adults aged 50 and above at 8%, at 8%, this and 8 at 8%. These patterns highlights that young adults are at the highest risk of contracting in HIV in Malaysia. For the conclusion, HIV remains a serious public health challenge in Malaysia. It affects not only individuals but also families and communities. The rise in infection among women and young adults shows the need for the stronger prevention education program. By promoting testing, treatment, and reducing stigma, Malaysia can move closer to achieving its 2030 goals of ending AIDS as a public health issue. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dewi and Fatin. Any question for them?
My name is Nurul Fatin Natasha binti Abu Talib.
Sorry. Question? No question?
I would like to ask some questions.
Alright.
So, in your opinion, how can you, as a part of the community, help reduce stigma toward people living with HIV?
Okay, thank you, Anissa, for the questions. As a community, we can reduce stigma by showing empathy, spreading correct informations, and avoid discriminations. Understanding that HIV can infect anyone help creates a more supportive and caring society. For example, anyone can get HIV even though from the blood transfusions. For example, the case in 2005, 5 years ago, a man got infected by the blood transfusion and won the case by the negligent case. So as a community, we should not discriminate the people that HIV because they also don't want HIV because they are just a victim from the people that are not aware and do something a mistake. That's all. I hope that's answer your questions.
Thank you, Anissa, and also Dewi. I have a question for your groups. Do you think the LGBT relationship can lead to the HIV issue in Malaysia?
In my opinion, I think yes, LGBT can lead into the HIV because, as I said before, the recent trend now is sexual transmissions. So LGBT is related with the sexual transmission. So I think yes for the answer.
Right. Thank you, Fatin, for answering my question. So let's move to the next presenter, which is Adeline Nabila Shazwina and Nisa Nabila on their topic, which is substances abuse among youth.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to Dr. Wan Jemusni and everyone. So today my partner and I will be presenting about substance abuse among youth in Malaysia. We will start by introducing ourselves. So my name is Nisa Nabila binti Norisham Adli and my student ID is 2025138581.
My name is Adeline Nabila Shazwina binti Mizan and my student ID is 2025569805.
Alright, So our presentation today uses two data visuals, which are line graph and pie chart, to help us understand these growing issues. The first one, which is line chart, shows the trend of youth drug abuse cases in Malaysia from 2019 until 2023, while the pie chart highlights the type of drug abuse in 2023. And then these two charts help us to see both of the scale and nature of youth substance abuse in our country.
So for the data we use come from reliable sources such as the Agensi Anti Dada Kebangsaan AADK, Malay Mail, and also research from the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. So now let us start with defining substance abuse. So substance abuse means the harmful or uncontrolled use of addictive substances such as drugs, alcohol, or inhalants. It is a pattern of excessive use of a substance that leads to negative consequences for the individual health. This can involve dependence, addiction, or significant impairment in various aspects of life. And for example, by using illegal drugs regularly and neglecting responsibilities due to the substance use. So in Malaysia, this issue is most common among youth aged 15 to 24 that was influenced by peer pressure, curiosity, stress, and also the easy access to drugs. And according to the AADK 2023, youth make up a large portion of new drug users, showing that despite awareness campaigns, the issue continues to persist.
Next, I will explain about the line chart that shows trend of drugs abuse from 2019 until 2023. Alright, so this line graph shows the trend of drug abuse cases among Malaysian youth below 30 years old from 2019 until 2023 based on AADK's 2023 Drug Information Book. From the chart, we can see that the age 20 until 24 and 25 until 29 age group recorded the highest number of cases every year. And then for the age group 15 until 19 showed a slight decline, which may indicate that school-based prevention programs are working. And then if you notice that the below 10 age group, that is the lowest one, showed limited early exposure on substance abuse because the number of cases remained low. However, there was a rise in cases among the 25 until 29 groups in 2023, showing weak intervention for youth after finishing their school.
Okay, next we move on to the pie chart, which is the second chart, types of drugs abuse in 2023. So for this pie chart, it is the drug types used by children and also youth. So the pie chart shows the distribution of drug types used by individuals in the children and youth aged 0 to 29 in 2023. And according to AADK, amphetamine type stimulants, ATS, such as methamphetamine, dominates with 84% and followed by opiates. For example, for opiates is heroin and morphine at 8%, and cannabis, which is a natural substances that's still available in the market but not that predominant, at 4%. And the most commonly used substances are amphetamine type stimulant, the ATS, and also opiates, which together make up the largest share. This suggests that stimulant-based drugs and heroin or morphine-related substances remain the primary drugs of concern among young users in Malaysia. So the lower proportions of other drugs such as ketum, cannabis, and psychotropic pills may indicate that although these substances are present, they are not the main drivers of youth drug involvement. However, the presence of multiple drug types shows that young users are not limited to a single substance category, which reflects polydrug exposure. So
polydrug exposure is actually when people start to mix around these drugs. For example, they take ATS and cannabis together and they have accessibility issues to these drugs. So for overall insight, this trend reflects a shift from the use of traditional drugs like heroin to more modern and high-risk synthetic drugs. So this distribution highlights that the need for youth to focus on drug prevention programs that address both stimulant addiction and opiates, especially with high-risk environments such as social nightlife settings, online drug markets, and also peer-driven spaces.
Let's move on to the conclusion. So to conclude, drug abuse among Malaysian youth, especially those aged 20 to 29, continues to rise despite national efforts. Although drug involvement among teenagers is slightly lower, while early adulthood remains a high risk phase due to stress, social exposure, and lack of intervention after school. With ATS, which is the amphetamine type stimulants drugs dominating at 80%, this trend shows that current prevention efforts are effective in schools but not as strong in workplace or universities. Therefore, we recommend stronger rehabilitation, prevention, and community awareness programs targeting young adults beyond school environments. That's all from us.
Alright, thank you, Adeline, and also Nisa, for the interesting topic. Any question for them?
My name is Wan Putri Yahnur. Okay, so my question is, how effective are Malaysia's drug prevention campaigns?
Okay, so they are quite effective in school as shown by the decline in cases among 15 to 19 age group. However, the prevention is less effective after schooling where support systems are weaker since there are no guidelines for this age group. Is there any more question?
No questions? Alright, let's move to the other presenter, the most handsome pair in our class, Muhammad Sufyan and also Arif Fahmi, on their topic, smoking trends among Malaysian youth. So I will pass to them.
Okay. So Assalamualaikum to Dr. Wan Sumusni and also all my beloved friend. So today we would like to present our research topic about the smoking trends among Malaysian youth. Okay, so first of all, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Arif Fahmi bin Muhammad Saleh and my matrix number is 2025 301 069.
And my name is Muhammad Sufian bin Sabarani. My metric number is 2025 193 853.
Okay, so first of all, we would like to go for the first purpose of this research. Okay, so the first purpose of this research is to actually raise awareness about the high acceptance of smoking among Malaysian youth. So it is very important because despite ongoing anti-smoking campaigns, many young people still view smoking as acceptable or even trendy, which can lead to long-term health risks. So the second purpose is actually to identify youth preferences between traditional tobacco and e-cigarettes by understanding which products are more popular and why, so we can get better target prevention strategies and also health education, especially since e-cigarettes are increasingly attracting that non-smokers and shaping new habits of nicotine use. So next we go to introduction for our research topic is about okay. Uh, so so for the start of the introduction, tobacco and e-cigarette use in Malaysia is a growing concern, especially among youth. While the national smoking rate has been declined, e-cigarette is increasing rapidly among young adults and students. Study shows many e-cigarette users have never ever smoked before, which shows a shift in nicotine habits. In response, the government also plans to regulate e-cigarettes under the same law as tobacco to control health risk and youth access. So it is very important because it shows how e-cigarettes is no longer just a tool for smoker to quit, but also has become popular among non-smoker, particularly young people. So the plan regulations is aimed to reduce exposure, prevent new users from starting, and also ensure that both traditional cigarettes and also e-cigarettes are monitored under public health policy. Thank you. So we go for to the next slide that will be presented by my friend.
Okay, for the credibility part, we choose this topic because firstly, smoking has long been a trend and a habit, especially among teenagers and young adults. Because it is so common, it becomes an important issue to study and understand. Secondly, this topic is also relevant today because the government frequently discusses policies related to tobacco and e-cigarettes. There are ongoing debates about whether these products should be banned or restricted or regulated nationwide. This this shows uh, this shows how significant and urgent this issue has become. Next, for background, smoking involves burning tobacco and inhaling the smoke, which contain nicotine, which is a highly addictive substance. While vaping uses an electronic device that heats a liquid containing nicotine and flavoring. Although many people believe vaping is safer, both smoking and vaping can lead to serious health problems, including lung cancer, heart disease, and respiratory issues. Next, we go to central idea. The central idea of our research is focused on two main points. Firstly, we aim to identify the reason why youth nowadays prefer e-cigarettes over traditional cigarettes, which is tobacco. Second, we will analyze the current trend of smoking and vaping.
Okay, back to me, madam, doctor. So I will discuss about the pie chart that we found. Okay, so in the pie chart, the finding shows that a major shift in smoking habits among youth and students. Actually, the largest group it showed that the largest group is dual users, which equivalent to 40.3% are using both cigarettes and e-cigarettes at the same time. So this suggests that many students are not replacing smoking with e-cigarettes, but rather combining both habits, which could increase their nicotine exposure to themselves. So next, 20.5% of students shows that e-cigarette users who have never ever smoked before. So this is quite concerning because it shows that e-cigarettes are attracting new users who were not previously smokers, which is it highlights how e-cigarettes has become trendy and appealing, especially among young people. Meanwhile, 18.7% of students are traditional smokers, which is uh, showing that whilst cigarettes, traditional cigarette smoking is still exists, but it is now less common than e-cigarettes or dual use. So next, the ex-smoker, which equivalent to 14.1%, indicates that some students have turned to e-cigarettes as a substitute after quitting traditional smoking. Lastly, 6.4% of students reported using only traditional cigarettes, meaning they do not use the e-cigarette at all. So overall, from this pattern shows that e-cigarette is becoming more dominant among youth and maybe reshaping the habits of nicotine use in Malaysia. Thank you. So we go to the next slide with my friend.
For the next chart, according to data taken from Standard Insight in 2023, 65.6% of Malaysian youth aged 18 to 24 have tried e-cigarettes or vaping and still do today. This is the highest percentage among all age groups, showing that vaping is most common among young adults. It suggests that vaping has become a popular social trend among youth. This high number could possibly be influenced by peer pressure who also tried the e-cigarettes or their own curiosity. Meanwhile, the 28.1% of youth said that they have tried but stopped using e-cigarettes. This means some young people experimented with vaping but later decided to quit, possibly because they knew of health concerns and the bad effect of smoking. Surprisingly, 0% of youth have not tried but are interested in trying vaping. This indicates that young people have already been exposed to vaping and know the consequences to health. Finally, just 6.3% of youth stated that they have no interest in vaping. This is the lowest percentage of disinterest among all age group, showing that vaping is highly accepted and even normalized among the younger generation. So, in conclusion, the data clearly shows that Malaysian youth are the most active group of e-cigarette users. With such high level of participation and low disinterest, this trend highly highlights the need for greater awareness campaign or education on health risks among the youth. We move to next slide, which is conclusion.
Okay, so for the conclusion, okay, is actually cigarettes remain the most commonly used tobacco product among Malaysians, but e-cigarette use is increasing rapidly, especially among younger people. So younger age group shows a very clear shift toward e-cigarettes, indicating that changing preferences and attitude towards nicotine habit use in Malaysia. So it's actually this trend highlights that a significant change in how young people are approaching nicotine. While traditional cigarettes are still widely used, e-cigarette also is becoming increasingly popular, even among those who have never smoked before. So this shift in preference signal not just a change in habits, but also in perception of e-cigarette is often seen as more acceptable or modern. For policymakers and public health officials, this trend is strengthen the need for targeted education, awareness program, and also regulation to prevent long-term health risks and also to guide youth toward healthier choice. So I think that's all for my group presentation. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Arif and Sufyan. Any question for them?
I have question. My name is Akif. So my question is, in your opinion, do you think vaping is better and safer than smoking tobacco?
I don't hear the question.
In your opinion, do you think vaping is better and safer than smoking tobacco?
Do you think opinion?
Do you think vaping is better and safer than smoking tobacco?
Okay. Okay, if you ask my opinion, Akif, is actually I think vaping is not better than tobacco or traditional cigarette itself, because it's actually both of them have very bad effects towards our body. For example, e-cigarettes can affect our lungs badly, and also traditional tobacco also have the chemical to affects our body badly. So I think it is not what we call as a good opinion to think that vaping is actually better than traditional tobacco. I think both of them is very bad for our body. So I want to ask Doctor, is it this also a question for us, Doctor?
Yeah, I think Dr. Wan has a question for both of you. The question is, are you smokers too? And what's your personal opinion about the smoker?
Okay. Okay. For, so for me, I'm not a smoker. So what my personal opinion is, when I'm not a smoker, I'm just don't like smoke because first thing, it can give bad effects to our body first. So it's not good for our health. Okay. And the second one, the effect is actually affects our financial situation, because when you smoke or you vaping, it's required a lot of cost, and it's not good for us as a student, I think. So that is my opinion, and I'm not a smoker. Thank you, Doctor.
All right, thank you Arif and also Sufian for your presentation. Next, we move to the pair number 8, which is Rabiatul Adawiyah and also Anissa Saleha. For their topics, domestic violence pre-COVID and versus post-COVID.
Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to talk about an issue that is often hidden behind closed doors, yet it has affected thousands of families across Malaysia. Our topic is a comparative analysis of domestic violence trends in Malaysia, pre and post-COVID periods, which is 2014 until 2017 versus 2019 until 2024. So before we begin, I would like you to imagine this. A home that should be a place of love, comfort, and full of safety, but for some, it becomes a place of fear, traumas, and a place that they wish to never come back. This is all because of the domestic violence crimes. Domestic violence is not just about physical pain. It is also emotional, verbal, and also psychological. According to Women's Center for Change, WCC, they define domestic violence as the use of power and control from one family member to another family member. In other words, it means to oppress them personally. So sadly in Malaysia, this problem has been growing for years already, even before COVID-19. So between these trend times, which is pre-COVID and post-COVID, we have found out that there is climb steadily the number of domestic violence cases. Right. So for our background, the data taken from PDRM, Royal Malaysia Police, which is the trend time of 2014 until 2017, is being compared with 2019 and 2024. So as in this later on, I will show there is a clear sign of rapid increase between this trend time. What has caused this increase? There are factors that will be explained by my members just now, later on. All right, so I'll pass to so next, I'm sorry, which is the purpose. So our purpose of this analysis is to compare the pattern and trend of domestic violence cases in Malaysia during pre-COVID 2014 until 2017 and post-COVID 2019 until 2024.
Next purpose is to examine how the COVID-19 pandemic may have influenced changes in the frequency and patterns of such cases. So, for the central idea, the central idea of our study is to highlight how domestic violence has continued to be a serious social issue in Malaysia, even before and after the COVID-19 pandemic. So, we compared two main timelines, which is from 2014 to 2017, known as the pre-COVID period, and from 2019 to 2024, the post-COVID period. What we found is that domestic violence was already on the rise before the pandemic began, but during COVID-19, the situation became even worse. The combination of financial pressure, home confinement, unemployment, and emotional stress created an environment where tensions at home increased significantly. So this comparison shows that domestic violence is not just a health or family issue. It is a social problem linked to economic and psychological factors, requiring strong awareness campaign, better enforcement of laws, and continuous public education.
Alright, so now let us take a closer look at chart 1, which show the number of domestic violence cases reported by PDRM between 2014 and until 2017. So as we can see, in 2014, there were 4,807 cases, and in 2015, the number rose to 5,014 cases. This show a stable increase. However, we can clearly see in 2016, there is a rapid increase, which is 5,796 cases. So this number reveals a clear upward trend, a pattern that reflects how domestic violence has become more reported and visible during those years. So what's especially significant is the spike in 2016. Okay, so let me analyze the data. So why did this increase happen, especially in 2016? First, there was a greater social awareness where there is more NGOs and government campaigns that encourage victims to come forward and not become scared of showing themselves. For example, we have women aid organizations, WAO, WCC Penang, and community that initiative made it safer for victims to report abuse. So for example, we have is WAO, where they make a gender equality talks during 2016 and held during 16 days of activism. So they make a featured forum such as how to intervene in domestic violence and know your rights, which focus on education, empowerment, and legal awareness towards those victims and as well as the community. Second is the witnesses in legal protection. So before Domestic Violence Amendment Act 2017, the old act from 1994 had gaps. It didn't treat domestic violence as a specific crime, and legal protection was actually kind of slow. As a result, many cases went unpunished and repeat abuse become common already. So third is economic family stress. So even before COVID-19, Malaysia B40 household faced financial struggles already. So according to Penang Institute 2020, unemployment, financial pressure, and emotional stress were major triggers of domestic conflicts. And lastly is the 2016 peak results. So 2016 peak result likely resulted from a mix of increased public awareness and more efficient data reporting by PDRM and NGOs. So the improvement of this reporting system made it easier for cases to be counted. For example, we have talian kasih, where the victim could call if there is any domestic violence happen or abuse happen to them. So when we talk about these numbers, 4,000, 5,000, nearly 6,000, we are not just talking about statistics. Each number represents a person, a story, a life changed by fear or trauma. These rising numbers are a call for empathy, understanding, and stronger protection for victims. By studying the pre-COVID data here, we can understand what went wrong before and what needs to improve today. So that is all for me. I will pass to my partner.
Okay, now let's take a closer look at chart 2. which displays the number of reported domestic violence cases in Malaysia from 2019 to 2024. This data is based on official report from the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development and the Royal Malaysia Police. As we can see, in 2019, the number of reported cases was relatively stable at around 5,657. However, in 2020, there was a slight decrease to 5,260 cases, possibly because victims had limited access to reporting channels during the early months of the pandemic. The most significant jump occurred on 2021 when cases rose sharply to 7,468 as the highest in the period. This spike happened during the COVID-19 lockdown, where many families were under the same roof for long periods, facing financial strain, emotional stress, and limited mobility. These conditions intensified family conflicts and increased the risk of abuse. In 2022, the number of cases dropped slightly to 6,540, which coincided with the easing of lockdown restrictions and better public access to support systems such as counseling and NGO assistance. The downward trend continued into 2023, where cases reduced to 5,507. However, this decline may not mean that violence actually decreased, but it may reflect underreporting, as some victims were still hesitant to come forward due to fear, shame, or seeing domestic violence as a private issue. Then, in 2024, the number rose again to 7,116 cases. This could be caused by renewed financial and emotional pressures, but it also shows greater awareness and willingness to report abuse as the government and NGOs continued awareness programs. This chart reflects that domestic violence remains a recurrent social problem in Malaysia. The fluctuation in numbers shows how closely it is tied to social and economic conditions, especially during times of crisis, and highlight the ongoing need for strong community awareness and continued support for victims. So, for conclusion, the overall findings show that domestic violence is not a new issue. It existed long before the pandemic, but was made worse by the challenges of COVID-19. The patterns from both charts show that economic hardship, emotional instability, and weak protection systems are among the main factors that drive domestic violence in Malaysia. While post-pandemic efforts such as awareness campaign and stronger legal reforms have helped more victims come forward, the problems still persist. This issue cannot be solved by the government alone. It requires continuous education, stronger community involvement, and consistent law enforcement to ensure that victims feel safe and supported. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Anissa and Rabiatul. Any question for them?
I have a question. How can family members or friends play a role in preventing domestic violence?
Alright, so to answer your question, I think as a family member myself, I think we need to play a crucial role in terms of offering emotional support, obviously, safety place and resources to those that are affected. So we need to start by recognizing these early signs of abuse, such as changes in their behavior from extrovert becoming introvert, withdrawal from social activities, unexplained injuries or signs of fear itself. So instead of us as a family member blaming them or pressure them to tell us who did it to them, we should express concern and empathy them first, because if we started to push them, they might become withdrawn and scared to tell us. So other than that, we can also help this family member by finding a safe place such as the NGO Women AIDS Organization or Talian Kasih, accompany them to make police report and seek legal aid. So that is my opinion.
Alright, thank you. Last one, let's move to the last pair, which is Fakrul Azim and also Muhammad Akif Shami on their topic fast food consumption. Please hurry up.
All right. Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. We are from Pair 9. Our topic is about fast food consumption among students. Next slides. Okay, my name is Fakrul Azim bin Badr Hisham and my partner.
My name is Muhammad Shami bin Muhammad Nawawi.
Okay, next slides. Okay. Before I begins, here is fun facts. Did you know that Malaysians spend over 10 billion a year on fast foods? And did you know that there are 8,093 fast food restaurants in Malaysia as of October 2025? That's a lot, right? This shows how popular fast food has become, especially among young people. Okay, the purpose. The first purpose is to illustrate university students' preference toward fast foods. And second one is to show university students weekly frequency of fast food consumptions. For the background of topic, fast food refer to quick service meals typically offered by convenience stores and restaurants. Fast food has become one of the main meal options for students due to its fast service, low price, and availability. Because students are often busy with classes and assignment, many rely on fast food as a quick solution for their meals. Okay, for the central idea, the main focus of our presentation is to compare student preference for fast food with how often they actually consume in each week. Okay, next slide. Okay, the first chart shown here is a pie chart that represents university student preferences toward fast food. According to the data, about 93% of students say they like and prefer fast food, while only 7% say they don't prefer it. This clearly shows that fast food is the top choice among students. This strong preference suggests that when students enjoy fast food, they are more likely to making it part of their everyday lifestyle. All right, based on our analysis or finding, it's clear that most students today prefer and frequently consume fast food. However, if we compare this trend with older generations, there is a noticeable differences. In the past, many people rely more on home cooked meals made with fresh ingredients, which contributed to a healthier lifestyle overall. But nowadays, today younger generation, including university students, are more exposed to convenient but less nutritious food choices. All right. So, what will be? If this pattern continues, it could lead to health issues such as obesity, diabetes, and heart disease in the future generations. Okay, then I will pass to my partner.
Okay, for the next one, which is the chart 2, bar chart, which is, okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Assalamualaikum. Okay, let's continue on how frequent students eat fast food. Okay, I have some interesting result from a student survey at UTHM Pago to share with you guys. Okay, first, let's look at the numbers. This chart show how often students eat fast food each week. And guess what? Almost everyone, a huge 85%, eats it between 1 and 5 times a week. So, if you grab a burger or fries a few times a week, you are definitely not alone. And however, 3% eat it a bit more often, around 6 to 7 times. And the good news is that no one in the survey reported eating it more than 7 times a week. So overall, it looks like most students are keeping their consumption pretty moderate. So the last one is 12% that did not eat fast food in a week, which is a very, very good. So then an analysis, which is it shows that even though most students like and choose fast foods, they are mostly eating it in moderation, 1 to 5 times a week. Suggests they are not overdoing it. They seems to be balancing their fast food consumption with other food choices. Now let's get to the real talk. Okay, why does this matter? Eating too much of it too often is like putting the wrong kind of fuel in a car. It might run for a while, but eventually you will run into a problems. It can make us feel tired, and it can even affect our mood and concentration, which is not great for studying. Okay, according to health expert at Harvard Medical School, food with high glycemic index, like sugary snack common in fast food, can lead to rapid change in blood sugar and directly affect energy levels and also mood. So what can we do? You do not need to stop eating fast food. Just eat less of it. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, for the conclusions, what we see from the data is clear. Fast food is very common in student life. 93% prefer it and 85% eat it regularly each week. Why? This shows how much students enjoy fast food convenience and taste. It also raises important question about health access. So to finish, it's okay to like the fast food, but let's eat a little less to feel better and healthier. Okay, next. Next. Okay, I will leave you with this simple quotes from Mahatma Gandhi, which is activist Indians independence. He said that it is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. It means that you can use the money you save on your to buy on fast food to buy good health later, because your health is the real fortune you need to protect. Okay, thank you. Any question?
Thank you, Akif and also Fakrul for the presentation. So the question from the Dr. One, what is the highest factor for fast food consumption? Whether convenience, taste, price, or other factors?
Okay. Can you can you repeat the question?
Sure. What is the highest factor for either convenience, taste, price, or other factors?
Oh, okay. For the answer, I think the main factor influencing fast food consumption today is convenience. Uh, Busy lifestyle, limited time for cooking, and digital innovations like food delivery apps make fast food quick and accessible. People value speed and ease over preparations, making convenience the top reason for choosing fast food in modern society. So, in summary, the convenience is the most factor that leads to fast food consumption today.
All right, thank you, Fakrul and Dr. One for the questions. I think that's all from us, AM2364B. So the other presenter will be present next week. Right, thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Can we end with Tasbih Kifara and Wal As? Nobody can recite. See you next week.